This is a defamation suit, but you have to understand this. In the next few days, there are criminal charges that are also coming. It takes more strength to be quiet and to be silent until the right time. I am a fighter first. I am somebody that came to this country when I was 17 years old.
You're saying you're a fighter. You're no fighter. You have no spine. I dealt with your minions for a year.
I want you to understand the reason why I haven't posted my little brother's text messages. Trust me, if I wanted to be petty, I would be extremely messy.
It's not a legal battle. Everything I've said, I have the receipts of.
Because I know him more than you guys know. You guys know the version I presented to you. And I'm not being petty. You didn't know him until I made him known to you.
You said you gave me a platform? You're a liar. I just posted on my last video, speaking at TBN. Did you take me to TBN? That was before I ever met you.
I believe he's a man of God. I will never say he's a false prophet. I will never say that he's not a man of God, he's a wizard, he's a warlock. That is petty and stupid. I would never say that about him. Why? Because I know his calling before God.
My former friend is into witchcraft. Lovy's he's into witchcraft.
It's painful because this is somebody I love. I love his parents still. I adore his children. How do you think my son, who called you uncle, feels like when you claim that I sacrificed children? That you were pregnant and then there was a sacrifice of a child. Now that's a problem for me. They most likely may end up in jail.
You can't take my preachings and my conviction and take me to court for my preachings and my convictions. First of all,
I pray you get the best attorneys because most likely you are definitely going to jail. Definitely. I hate doing this because the main person I'm going to address is somebody that I love even in this hour. To me, it's still a little brother to me. He's still a little brother, if I should say. And things have been escalated to a place where I have to address them, and I'm going to go one by one why there is a lawsuit now and what will be the next steps. Now, why was I silent? The first thing, I was silent because the Lord asked me to. I used that time to pray concerning the situation. If you notice, I have lost a lot of weight. Number two,
AJ lost weight too.
I took time to consult my legal counsel. I sat down with my attorneys. They collected every single piece of evidence that you can imagine. In this situation, my wife has been dragged in, my sons have been dragged in, my baby actually, my newborn, and my 15-year-old. And then my spiritual family, my sons and my daughters who serve with me, and even other men of God that are close to me. I am a fighter first. I am somebody that came to this country when I was 17 years old, not by anybody's help. All I know is how to fight and to survive. I am not a weakling. Don't mistake my silence to mean that I am shattered, I'm weak, I'm trying to make something cross or pass. No, you don't understand. It takes more strength to be quiet and to be silent until the right time. This is a defamation suit, but you have to understand this. In the next few days, there are criminal charges that are also coming. I want to be very clear about that. There are criminal charges that are also coming.
Prophet Lovy finally broke silence, right? And he is going all out. He's suing not just one person, but maybe 4 people. I don't know how many. I want to assume that the person he's talking about mainly here is E.J. Newton. I'm not saying that's who, but I'm assuming that is who he is talking about. Because when you look at all those things from what E.J. Newton said and everything, it's pretty much him, okay? Lovy is suing. E.J. Newton is in the mountaintop right now, still spitting fires against Prophet Lovy, saying all sorts of, unimaginable things, okay? I have a reaction to both of them, their intentions, because I feel if they continue the way they are going right now, as a Christian, I feel that both of them are going to lose, like big time. They'll lose. And I have reasons why I say it so. For E.J. Newton, I feel like he's already losing. The reason why I said it spiritually, I'm not talking about, carnal. I think I'm just making my own reaction. You can tell me what you feel. I feel spiritually he's losing. The reason I said it is because people might argue that it's in the Bible that if anybody says, preach anything that is not what the apostles preached or the angels, even if it's angels, let him be accursed. It's in the Bible, right? Paul said it. And people argue with that, but I can tell you that accursed pretty much means condemning, okay? But then did Paul tell us to openly condemn people? And when this Bible was written, there was nothing like internet, right? But Paul, who even said that, even when he had the opportunity of condemning people, what he did was writing letters. And these letters are actually addressed to the right people, letters to the Galatians, Corinthians, Ephesians, and you name them. He didn't write letters to all Christians saying, maybe correcting some evil deeds. Like one time he corrected people who were sleeping with their father's wife in the book of Galatians, okay? But he did not send it to everybody. So from that point of view, I feel like E.J. Newton is not doing it right. I don't know if he was right about what he is saying, even if he was right about what he is saying, but the way he's going about it, I don't think it's right. I also have my own, so in that part, spiritually, he's losing. And then for Lovy, I also have my own reactions to what he wants to do, because I feel like he's losing too, or he's about to lose spiritually. And I'm going to tell you why, but let's just go through the main issue here.
Number 2 is for the salvation of people's souls. You have to understand something about me, children of God, is this. I never ministered because of money. Money has never been a motivation for ministry. It has never been. I was touring the world with my brother Christian, performing. The Lord appeared to me when I was 6. I've told you that story many times. But I was touring the world with my brother Christian, won numerous awards. When I came to the States, the first time with my brother, we toured 17 states. The next time we toured, I think it was 18 states. And then I decided to move and pursue a career in music production, which I was very successful at. From the music thing, I made very important investments that have made me become somebody that is not dependent on ministry. I want you to understand the reason why I haven't posted my little brother's text messages. Trust me, if I wanted to be petty, I would be extremely messy, because I know him more than you guys know. You guys know the version I presented to you, and I'm not being petty. You didn't know him until I made him known to you. That is the truth. I'm not saying I called him. I'm not saying he's a false prophet. Actually, I'm not saying that at all. I am one of the people that believed in his calling, that I poured myself into him. He thinks
differently, though.
I believe he's a man of God. I will never say he's a false prophet. I will never say that he's not a man of God, he's a wizard, he's a warlock, that is petty and stupid. I would never say that about him. Why? Because I know his calling before God. I'm trying to make you understand that this is a painful thing for me. It is painful because this is somebody I love. I love his parents still. I adore his children. And some of the things that the allegations have to do with kids, and I will explain to you how painful it is for me for somebody to say certain things that shouldn't be said.
It's hard.
He went into my ex-wife, claiming that I don't take care of my ex-wife, that I manipulated her sisters and her mom and dad and left her to suffer. That is very crazy to me. I spend $7,000 every month for the past I don't know how many years, paying my ex-wife's mortgage, taking care of her. Everybody who is around that is close knows that my ex-wife had an alcohol issue that she's working through. She comes to the church when she can, but for somebody to take it
when it gets to family, it hurts really bad.
How do you think my son, who called you uncle, feels like? So I want you to understand how far these things have gone. It's now just...
It hurts.
It has now just become personal. Even if there was error, it almost doesn't matter anymore because it has turned into something completely different. I have no malicious intent. There's a lot of people who have been hurt by this. Friends of mine that have been mentioned in the story, ministers that have always supported me. It's ugly.
Really.
It's really, really ugly. And it is painful. I'm going to go on some of the things on the defamation suit right now. And then I'm going to address now each one. There are 4 lawsuits, I want you to understand. There are 4 people that have been served, and I intend to go all the way. Please understand, this is not a threat. This is not to scare anybody. Trust me, more is coming. There are more people that are involved, but I'm starting with these 4. I took time not to respond because I was giving grace. I was giving a lot of grace. Okay, maybe it will stop now, because before it started, he reached out to somebody very important to me, and I can mention his name because he allowed me to. He reached out to the ambassador. If you know who the ambassador is the senior prophet, to talk, to have a conversation with me in order to mend things. And I'm talking about one of my fathers, Prophet Hubert Angel. In order to talk, he said he just gathered somebody in order to talk. No, he gathered the senior prophet to talk to him in order to speak to me.
So through the course of this video and the one that you already watched, I'm assuming that this is E.J. Newton, because he was very careful about not mentioning names, right? But this is just an assumption. And then after he said this, E.J. Newton said something that countered what he said, and I'm going to play the video. And if you are not familiar with what is going on, I have a link to the whole story in the comment section, and I'm going to link it to the end of the video, so you can watch it if you want to. And please like, subscribe, and click on the notification bell so you can see more stories. I kind of talk about Christian-based stories, and the idea is for us to learn. Okay, let's go right back to it. See what E.J. Newton said about the ambassador.
You came out today to lie that I called the ambassador. I'm gonna text the ambassador right now and say that I've been accused of calling him first. Before I start pulling out receipts, let me just tell the ambassador what you've said. Let me tell the ambassador.
E.J. Newton looks angry.
Do you want to read the points, JT? Because I want you guys to understand what is in the defamation suit.
Yeah. So starting with lawsuit number 1. This is from the firm that is the litigation counsel for Lovy Elias. I write concerning the litany of false, fabricated, malicious, and defamatory statements you have made and disseminated about my client through your own public social media accounts and social media accounts you covertly created and or contributed to solely target Mr. Elias. Based on recent posts that you have made on your social media accounts, it appears you intend to publish a series of additional videos and statements. As discussed below, both your past and future publication of these false and defamatory claims against my client constitutes egregious violations of law for which you will be held personally accountable. These outrageous defamatory statements and implications that you have made as part of your conspiracy to concerted effort to take down Mr. Elias and his church, collectively the false statements, have exposed you and all those involved in this conduct to very substantial liability. It is evident that your campaign is driven by envy of Mr. Elias' church following with the calculated intent of undermining his reputation and diverting his followers to yourself and your church. Your actions have significant and quantifiable repercussions on Mr. Elias and his church, resulting in excess of $1.4 million in losses directly attributable to your defamatory conduct.
That's a lot of money.
This intentionally malicious behavior must cease, or you will be held accountable for compensatory and punitive damages and other legal and equitable relief. Over the past few months, you have deliberately engaged in malicious and public campaign to tarnish my client's reputation by creating, publishing, and disseminating defamatory statements across the social media accounts. Among other things, you have falsely and recklessly accused my client of being a witch, warlock, and demonic, fully aware that such baseless allegations would severely damage his standing as a preacher and man of God within his church community. Now, more appalling is your egregious accusations that my client used witchcraft to kill his own son to harness his energy.
Now you imagine this.
Kill his
My
own
wife has a
son.
miscarriage, and it is used to say that I sacrificed my own child from my wife.
That's too much.
Do you know how cold-hearted you have to be to do such a thing?
No.
Do you know how insensitive you have to be?
I don't know who said that, but
When you are the only person I called and I said, hey, this happened and it's really hard. And we actually pray together, and then it's used like that. May God have mercy. Keep going, JT.
You were fully aware that the client's wife suffered a devastating miscarriage, a tragedy that deeply affected their family, yet you shamelessly exploited their pain to push this vile and reprehensible falsehood. Your actions are not only defamatory, but also morally repugnant. Equally reprehensible was your repeated allegation that Mr. Elias used witchcraft to cause another pastor colleague's car accident, an accusation that the pastor himself has explicitly denied.
Now, the apostle came out and he said, this never happened. The accident with his wife happened, was it 13 or 15 years ago? I can't even remember. And the second thing that happened never even happened to them. Like they didn't get any harm on them. it crossed over
That
them,
was true.
and he took it as a sign and he called me to speak to me. Before then, he had not even
That was
spoken to
true.
me.
So this is why I assumed it was E.J. Newton. And of course, you guys would believe me, it's E.J. Newton we're talking about. Although he said there are other people there. The pastor he was talking about was Omar Morton, okay? Apostle Omar Morton. And Omar Morton made a video debunking the idea. You know, that was a video I made. I said E.J. was looking bad about this too. Like I said, you can watch the full video, but listen to Morton.
You're a liar. My car never got shot up. You twisted the story. There was someone across the street that was shooting at another person across the street.
You have falsely stated that Lovy confirmed that he sends accidents to people, that Lovy holds people's souls hostage, that he forcefully got you initiated into his witchcraft, that he operates an occult network, that he is a wicked wizard, and repeatedly and falsely labeled Mr. Elias' church a cult.
So now, if you're filled with the Holy Spirit, how will anybody force you into any cult? Where's the power of God?
Word. Where's the power of God?
It is clear that you intentionally made these statements to instill fear and drive his followers away, tarnish Mr. Elias' reputation in the church community, and influence his followers to question his faith and standing as a church leader with the hope that they will flee to your church. Your defamatory accusations extend even further to the outrageous claim that my client orchestrated a scheme to have your children removed from your custody, stating he set things up to get my children taken, and specifically that Lovy is involved with the people who took your kids.
Now, hold on for a second. Hold on for a second. You know, lawsuits are public record, right? It's not anything that is secret. It's not a secret. His ex-wife was on Larry Reid's show and told Larry Reid, I don't know Lovy, and she wasn't lying. The only time I have ever spoken to this woman was in 2015 or 2016.
So here it is. Here is what he was talking about, and E.J. Newton made a comment about it, okay, about the ex-wife.
Did you take my kids? Were you involved? First of all, my ex-wife comes on Larry Reid's live and says, I've never spoken to Lovy. I don't know who this man is. But Lovy, you just told on yourself. You said, oh, the first time I spoke to her was 2015. So which is it? Do you know her or do you not know her? Does she know you or does she not know you?
The first time when my little brother continually reached out to me to connect with me until I opened the door. That's the only time I've spoken to this woman. This woman had her attorney with her and she's saying that I don't know this man. If he's giving free money, you should give it to me. Do you know how crazy it is for you to claim that I paid people to take your kids away from you? First of all, what will that benefit me with? Being number one, also, I'm sorry to use this and I don't mean to be racial. Me being a black man who had to fight for my son in the legal system. One of the reasons why I connected with my little brother was the fact that he didn't have his children. And my prayer was always, man, I can't wait for you to know how it feels like to have your kids. And when you have this, and when you have this,
You were
and
close
when you
friends.
have this. And I remember when his oldest daughter moved to be with him, he called me and I was actually about to go in the shower and we cried together and we praised God together. Why would I want to take your kids away from you? Why? How crazy is that? Now it has become a problem. Now it has become a serious problem because you're claiming I intentional. And the first time that he had a police situation going to his house, he came out and said, they're sending police to my house. And his wife confirmed and said that that was a wellness check. Nothing to do with me. Not even a single thing. And you know me, and I'm saying it again, children of God, please forgive my emotions. I am a fighter. If I have a problem with you, I go straight to you. I don't do the social media game. Social media is not a real place.
Not only are these allegations false, but they are also easily disproven by court records that would show that your children were temporarily removed from your custody because you violated your custody agreement. My client had nothing to do with it, and this is another egregious accusation you made, not only to impugn his integrity, but to also drive views to your social media pages to build your following. You have further escalated your defamatory campaign by falsely accusing Mr. Elias of engaging in the criminal act of pedophilia.
Now, hold on 1 second. Hold on 1
It's
second.
very serious.
This is a serious one.
Very, very serious.
This is very serious. Now, I want you to also remember, why did I go the legal route? Because if somebody is made up their mind to make up stories and to lie without repercussions, people can keep going. But the moment that there is stakes, maybe people will control their speech. My intention is not to muzzle anybody. I don't know what kind of power people think that I just silence people. That's absolutely not true. Nobody can silence anybody. My intention is that if it is true what you're saying, let's go to court and see. As children, I was molested by an older woman, scarred me for years. Now for somebody to come and say that Lovy engaged in pedophilia, and plus the young girl is a young girl in my church, do you know how much that has affected her? And what you don't know is she's also going to press charges. My ex-wife also is going to press charges because this is crazy, guys. You can't just talk.
Your inflammatory and baseless lies also extend to accusing my client of having homosexual relations with members of his church, insinuating that those close to him must be sleeping with him.
Now stop that right there. Is it okay if I mention his name? Is he here or no? Avoid?
He's here.
Okay. You know, Lee, who's my armor bearer, Lee, who has known me for how long now, Lee? Over 11 years. And others that I'm having, it's, hi, God help us. But keep going. Let me know, because of time, I don't want to spend too much time with this. It's unnecessary, but keep going.
Not content with defaming Mr. Elias alone, you have also targeted his minor child, falsely accusing him of delivering fake prophecies before his church.
Why bring children into this thing? When you claim that I sacrificed children, that you were pregnant, and then there was a sacrifice of a child. That's a problem for me. Deal. Number one, because abortion is murder to me. That's a problem. That's a big time problem for me. You say you have receipts for everything. Now in court, I want to see a receipt for that. Now, this person, most definitely, they're most likely, this person and the next person I'm going to talk about, they're most likely may end up in jail.
You made falsely accusing my client of egregious conduct. While some are more direct than others, each conveys the malicious narrative that my client engages in witchcraft and other dark practices. Most despicable is your false claim that Mr. Elias sacrificed his own brother for money and fame, and that his cancer was due to being affiliated with others in the church.
Now, stop right there.
You know.
Sorry?
No, go ahead. I'm saying this is touchy. I know.
Yeah, I'm just going to touch on it. Like, I'm sorry, my legal counsel is here, so they want me to speak a certain way. So I'm gonna honor them because of where things are going. If you know what a defamation suit looks like, it is intended to go all the way. This is not a threat, people. I want you to understand that, and I'm gonna say it again. And you know, the arrogance of this person was like, oh,
he got emotional at this point.
He's not gonna be able to do this. Oh, this is just talk. Well, you're really about to find
emotional
out because you talk too much, and now you have to answer for it. Number one, my brother Christian did not die of cancer. I'll say it again. My brother Christian did not die of cancer. You don't understand the things I went through to keep my own brother alive. You have no idea. Christian had a malignant tumor that had been growing since he was a child in his brain, and it was only discovered when he was much older, when he got a seizure, and there is no history of seizures in our family. Zero. My own brother that I had to carry Christian like this. This is my older brother. His body has withered away so bad that I have to carry him like this, take him to the hospital, knowing very well that my brother is not coming back home because the doctors are like, painful. Okay, we don't know what to do anymore. And part of the reason why I still love my little brother until now, despite everything that is going on, he was the first person in the house when my little brother died, when my older brother Christian died. He was one of the person talking to my wife so that he can come, and he actually comforted me through that time because I didn't have really any family except him. So you have to understand how emotional this whole thing is for me. You have no idea how my wife Maggie fought for Christian. Christian came from taking 2 pills to about 30 pills a day.
If I'm right, you're talking about E.J. Newton.
Now you guys went too far, man. I'm sorry. This has to be answered for. 100%. I pray that you get the best attorneys. I'm sorry I'm very emotional right now, but I pray you get the best attorneys because most likely you are definitely going to jail. Definitely.
So obviously, homeboy is angry. Like he is, I mean, who wouldn't get emotional, right? Especially when you're talking about your brother, okay? But now I said I have a message for him. Yeah. I already talked about E.J. Newton and where I feel he failed. And this is where I honestly feel he might fail, okay? And this is my own reaction to it. You can tell me what you think as a Christian, you know, but as a Christian, I think he needs to forgive. Yeah, as hard as it might seem, okay? I don't know who's right or who is wrong. I don't know who is saying the truth or who is lying. I don't know who is a fake prophet or the real prophet. But let's just assume that they are all good prophets of God, okay? Jesus Christ, who is our watchword, went through more accusation than Lovy is going through right now, okay? And this is where the true test of faith comes in. Jesus Christ went through more than that. He was spat on. The people he healed crucified him. They gave him a very heavy cross. He walked some miles, fell several times, bruised his legs. They scourged him, at a pillar, crown of thorns, crucified him in between two thieves. Very humiliating death, strip him naked. A lot of things, but at the end of the day, he said, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. The biggest thing Jesus Christ preached through his course on earth was love and even forgiveness, okay? Through his course was forgiveness, love, unconditional love. So if this guy is truly your brother, as you claim, your little brother, it is time to prove that love. It might look weak in the face of people, but spiritually you are winning. But if you take him to court, which is it's not biblical, don't take your brethren to court, okay? Unbelievers are going to judge you guys, okay? If you take him to court, you're fighting carnally, go back to God, cry in your secret place, and ask God to forgive him. Let him continue doing what he is doing, and then he will get back to his senses when God touches him. And that's my own suggestion about this whole thing. And I don't know what you think. Do you think that's a good suggestion, or do you think he should go all out and, because at the end of the day, we don't know who's going to be guilty in the court, right? But I think what we should do is pray for those guys, okay? I think that's what we are supposed to do as Christians, and let all those things get resolved, okay? Because I love those two guys, and I don't want it to continue going like this. Like, subscribe, and follow my page, and see you next time, okay? Peace. And if you want to watch the next video about, what really transpired based on what E.J. Newton said, click on the next video. Peace.